បាទសូមគោរពជំរាបសួរទៅដល់ជនរួមជាតិក៏ដូចជាប្រិយមិត្តក្នុងនិងក្រៅប្រទេសសូមគោរពជំរាបសួរលោកយាយលោកតាពុកម៉ែពូមីងបងប្អូននៅសហគមន៍ខ្មែរនៅទីក្រុង Long Beach រដ្ឋ California បាទសូមស្វាគមន៍កម្មមកដល់វេទិកាផ្សព្វផ្សាយសហគមន៍ដែលថ្ងៃនេះយើងវិលត្រឡប់មកវិញនៅកម្មវិធី Reading Club បាទអញ្ចឹងសូមបញ្ជាក់ម្ដងទៀតកម្មវិធី Reading Club ក្នុងមួយសប្តាហ៍យើងមាន2លើកសម្រាប់ថ្ងៃនេះយើងអានសៀវភៅKhmer Rise ឬក៏ How I Escape Genocide បាទហើយសម្រាប់ថ្ងៃច័ន្ទយើងអានសៀវភៅរដូវអត់អាហារឬក៏ចំណងជើងជាភាសាអង់គ្លេស Starving Season បាទអញ្ចឹងសម្រាប់ថ្ងៃនេះយើងអានសៀវភៅ Khmer Rise ឬក៏ How I Escape Genocide នេះយើងមកដល់ជំពូកទី17បាទហើយដោយសារសៀវភៅ Khmer Rise ក៏ How I Escape Genocide មានតែភាសាអង់គ្លេសអញ្ចឹងយើងមានក្រុមអានភាសាអង់គ្លេសទាំងអស់គ្នាបាទអញ្ចឹងសម្រាប់កម្មវិធីថ្ងៃនេះយើងមានក្រុមអ្នកអានភាសាអង់គ្លេសបាទមានដូចតទៅបាទទី1យើងមានបាទទី1យើងមានលោកគ្រូវិทย์បាទជំរាបសួរលោកគ្រូវិทย์
បាទជំរាបសួរលោកគ្រូ and everybody watching
ហើយទី2យើងមានលោកគ្រូ Derrick បាទជំរាបសួរលោកគ្រូ Derrick បាទទី3យើងមាន Kerry Chhay បាទជំរាបសួរ Kerry Chhay
ជំរាបសួរ everyone
បាទហើយយើងមានកិត្តិយសយើងមាននេះម្នាក់គឺ Gloria បាទជំរាបសួរ Gloria បាទអូខេអញ្ចឹងសូមក្រុមអ្នកអានរបស់យើងពេលនិយាយសូមអាប់ញូតខ្លួនឯងផងបាទដល់ពេលយើងអត់ឮសំឡេងបាទអញ្ចឹងកម្មវិធី Reading Club របស់យើងតែងតែមានអ្នកនិពន្ធផ្ទាល់បាទសម្រាប់កម្មវិធីថ្ងៃនេះ Khmer Rise ឬក៏ How I Escape Genocide ហ្នឹងមានលោកពូផាត់ឈីកែវដែលជាអ្នកនិពន្ធសៀវភៅផ្ទាល់លោកតែងតែអញ្ជើញចូលមកដើម្បីតឹងរង់ចាំការឆ្លើយតបនៅសំណួរចម្ងល់ឬក៏បញ្ហាផ្សេងៗតាក់ទងទៅសៀវភៅរបស់លោកតែម្ដងបាទអញ្ចឹងជំរាបសួរលោកពូផាត់ឈីកែវបាទ
ជំរាបសួរទាំងអស់គ្នា
បាទអញ្ចឹងសម្រាប់ជំពូកទី17យើងមើលទៅដូចជាមិនសូវវែងទេប៉ុន្តែក៏ជាឱកាសល្អសម្រាប់ក្រុមអ្នកអានយើងមានអីចោទសួរយើងមានឱកាសយើងមានពេលវេលាច្រើនហើយក៏យើងសូមស្វាគមន៍ចំពោះអ្នកទស្សនាកម្មវិធីរបស់យើងបើសិនលោកចង់ចូលរួមផ្ដល់ជាសំណួរមកកាន់អ្នកនិពន្ធផ្ទាល់លោកពូផាត់ឈីកែវយើងសូមស្វាគមន៍ហើយខ្ញុំនឹងអ្នកសម្របសម្រួលដើម្បីនាំយកសំណួរទាំងអស់នោះជូនលោកពូផាត់ឈីកែវដែលជាអ្នកនិពន្ធសៀវភៅនេះដើម្បីឲ្យលោកបកស្រាយបាទបើសិនជាមានបាទហើយសូមអំពាវនាវសូមកុំភ្លេចអ្នកដែលអត់ទាន់មានសៀវភៅ Khmer Rise បាទឬក៏ subtitle ហៅថា How I Escape Genocide នេះសូមអញ្ជើញជាវឲ្យបានគ្រប់គ្នាបាទព្រោះរាល់ចំណូលដែលបានមកពីសៀវភៅនេះគឺលោកពូផាត់ឈីកែវដែលជាអ្នកនិពន្ធលោកនឹងដាក់ចូលទៅក្នុងមូលនិធិដើម្បីយកទៅជួយនៅស្រុកខ្មែរជាពិសេសជួយដល់ពលរដ្ឋក្រីក្រហើយលោកមានមហិច្ឆតាចង់លក់សៀវភៅឲ្យបាន1លានក្បាលដើម្បីលោកបង្កើតមូលនិធិមួយដើម្បីជួយដល់សិស្សនារីក្រីក្រប៉ុន្តែគាត់មានចេតនាគាត់មានមហិច្ឆតាចង់រៀនសូត្របន្តអញ្ចឹងបើសិនអស់លោកអ្នកមិនបានទៅចូលរួមអីនៅស្រុកខ្មែរធំដុំក៏អាចចូលតាមរយៈជាវបាទគាត់ថាជាវសៀវភៅនេះទៅអស់លោកអ្នកក៏អាចចូលរួមចំណែកក្នុងការជួយទៅដល់ពលរដ្ឋខ្មែរយើងដែលមានការលំបាកហើយជាពិសេសក៏ជួយលើកកម្ពស់កូនខ្មែរដែលជាស្ត្រីហ្នឹងដើម្បីឲ្យគាត់បានរៀនសូត្រខ្ពង់ខ្ពស់ចេះដឹងដើម្បីអាចកសាងគ្រួសារតទៅថ្ងៃអនាគតផងដែរបាទអញ្ចឹងសូមលោកគ្រូវិទ្យដឹកនាំក្រុមអ្នកអានយើងអញ្ចឹងសូមអញ្ជើញចាប់ដើមបាទ
បាទសូមជម្រាបសួរ Yes today we read How I Escape Khmer Rise I'm sorry How I Escape the Genocide chapter 17 but yet before I say that those that haven't have a chance to buy the book please do so because the proceeds from the profit go towards the women education so the author will donate those proceeds for that cause so thank you and also the chapter 17 tonight is Phnom Penh after 4 years of terror so Kerry please start
Chapter 17, Phnom Penh, a population of 2 million, was a ghost town during the Khmer Rouge regime. After the fall of Pol Pot, only Vietnamese soldiers and a handful of new civil servants occupied the city. Phnom Penh was once a ghost town since 1975, now occupied by Vietnamese soldiers in 1979. Ordinary Cambodians returned to reclaim their homes but were not allowed to enter Phnom Penh. They gathered by the thousands, forming new communities around the city limits. It was time for the state art. Small trading was formed at kilometer number 7 kilometers north of Phnom Penh, along National Road number 5. People who survived the next genocide returned to Phnom Penh looking for a glimmer of hope for employment. At Kopong Cham, 100 kilometers via the river, ordinary Cambodians also congregated along the Mekong by the thousands. Hundreds of them wanted to go to Phnom Penh, but transportation problems had limited their chances. So I supplied my boat to float the demand. Taking passengers along earned me 10 kilograms of milled rice, equivalent to approximately $4 for each passenger on board. This was an easy choice, but I couldn't row the boat by myself. Recruiting new cruises was job number one, so the first sea transportation company was born. Cruises traveling to Mekong, Kampong Cham, Phnom Penh, 2 days by way of rowing each way, with 4 men in the process of finding strong men. The opportunities were few and far between. Most strong men were killed or died from starvation. Surprisingly, I found 3 who were experienced in rowing.
Thank you. For 10 kilograms of rice per person, the line was long. The first 25 passengers prepared for the first departure. The rest would have to wait for my return. This would be the first trip for anyone on board. After 4 years of primitive living, finally Phnom Penh City was in reach again. Our first day journey went smoothly. Everyone seemed to enjoy the spectacular scenery along the Mekong. On occasion, dead bodies floated face down along a remote section, reminding us of hardship ahead. The slaughter ended, but cruelty remained, and nightmares continued. Cambodia was occupied by communist Vietnam, a lesser of the 2 evils. Nonetheless, food was no longer a concern for me, as I was blessed with the ability to earn it. As my cruises and I continued rowing, the passengers started to talk about their stories of suffering. One by one, they accounted their story of despair, fear, and how they survived the Khmer Rouge. They came from different regions, yet similar stories were told. The common horror story was forced evacuations of city dwellers to the countrysides. Modern ideas were considered evil. Anyone with education posed a threat. Prescription glasses symbolized an intellectual, and those wearing them were punishable by death. The best and brightest were systematically killed and buried in mass graves. Those who survived were forced into manual labor in large labor camps, where thousands more died. Family lives were outlawed. Their new family was Angka. Pol Pot's faceless party. More than 10-hour workdays were common. Basic human needs such as food, clothing, and shelters were inadequate. The urban class was presumed the enemy. Fear was everywhere. You slept awake at night, wondering when you'd be killed. Most subsisted on a meager bowl of thin rice soup. People who dared to look for wild plants to eat were severely punished or killed. In Cambodia, it was a popular story that things were not always what they seemed. People said that rivers flow only in one direction. But it's not true in Cambodia. The Tonle Sap, a unique river, flows in both the north and south directions. The war was over, but there was no peace in Cambodia. Everyone lost siblings, most lost all. Almost everyone here recognized the fact that each and every one of us who survived Pol Pot, the bloody tyrant, had been blessed to start a new life. So we were determined to make it count. As we bounded midpoint, the darkness of the night was approaching as well. It seemed unsafe to row through the night. We stopped and made a campfire at Prekpo, Thiem Chikang, freshwater beach about 50 kilometers from Phnom Penh. The beautiful half moon provided enough light for throwing a few rounds of fishing net and catching enough fish to feed all passengers. Gathered around the campfire, we pretended it was a movie, but this was real.
Thank you, Gloria. Appreciate it. These were real survivors who lived to share their tear from years of suffering with the world. Seated around the campfire, we continue our survivor story through the night. Everyone in my book have been resilient champion of life. We went through a dark period with similar pain, yet each story was unique and was so equally inspiring. They remind me of an old donkey story that needed to be shared. An old donkey fell into the well. The owner think it would be too much trouble and expense to save the donkey. After all, the donkey was old. He would not be useful for much longer. It would be easy to bury the donkey into the well. So the owner gathered his friend and neighbor to help. Everyone helped shedding dirt into the well. The donkey expected to be buried alive, but the donkey doesn't want to be die. As each shovel of dirt was dropped into the donkey's back, he shook the dirt off his back so the dirt would drop down to his feet. Then the donkey stepped onto it. As the dirt continued to drop on his back, the donkey would repeat shaking dirt from his back down to his feet. When the dirt became higher enough, he simply walked off the well to safety. The donkey is now alive and well. To me, the survivor, the donkey who survived the cruelty. Finish up our story. We went to sleep under the mercy of the open sky. This became my lifestyle for months to come. At sunrise, continued rolling. Anticipating the sight of the Phnom Penh, I saw trouble ahead. Vietnamese soldier guarding checkpoint and restricted area to Phnom Penh. Everyone on board maintained former Phnom Penh resident. We did not anticipate province returning to our home, but one could never know for sure in Cambodia. Everyone prepared possible answer if questioned. By my crew to prepare some dry fish and chicken to soften the guard palate. The war ended, but the food continued to be rarely commodity. If you have food, you were king. And if we have some, as expected, the Vietnamese soldier accept our dry fish. They let us through to Phnom Penh, but the true challenge had just begun. To reach Phnom Penh, we need to cross the deadly Jamok. It's the open sea like waterway known to claim many lives over the years. Some sea warrior have failed, and this was my first attempt at the Jamok challenge. As we approaches the famous four-way merge, the two Mekong, east and south, the Basin and the Tonle Sap, everyone remained quiet, anticipating the worst. They knew the history of Jamok well. With a full load of passengers, my boat was less than 10 inches above water, not much room for safety. The afternoon wind increased its strength and creating a strong wave that could add a difficulty. Also, the Tonle Sap River displayed counter flow from the north to the south, dumping huge volume of water into Jamok. And later the sea, the only river in the world that does this, creating unpredictable current flow known to turn boat over. It seemed that the crossing could be game of life and death, and a game that had commit to play. Derrick?
Thank you. From the distance, the small canoes of two persons was in trouble. They attempted to cross the Mekong from Tujingwa to Arisat, the town directly across from Phnom Penh. Two girls waved their hands for help. The strong waves pushed waters into the canoe. Without assistance, there would be a little chance for the two girls. Saving two lives by risking 20 lives was not an option. My boat was at minimum inches above the water. Any wrong moves in strong wave could bring water in, but risking one life to save two lives was a go. It was a reckless move, but doing nothing would mean imminent death. I'm not sure that I could live with that. With two pieces of bamboo sticks, I jumped into the Mekong while asking the remaining cruisers to row toward the shore. The state-of-the-art plan was to kick the waters as far as I could. Thank God, I got two girls just in time. The canoe was full of water. While they grabbed the bamboo sticks, one piece for each girl, I attempted to save the canoe, an impossible task. I knew the canoe meant the world, to the girls' families. I did once 4 years ago, hoping to do it one more time. From side to side, I I push the canoe down and then pull it back up quickly and then repeated the process. The idea was to get water out of the canoe more than what would can get it. If I did it fast enough, the canoes would float again. I couldn't do it fast enough in the middle of Mekong. The canoes pulled me down. I let it go and grabbed for air. The girls kicked their bamboo sticks towards the shore, leaving me behind without any floating device. I had sworn across the Mekong once or twice before for recreation. This time the shore seems miles away. I didn't I didn't think I could make it and had used too much energy trying to save the canoe. With the passengers on the dry land, the cruisers went after me. The currents took me straight to Chetamuk, where my worst nightmares awaited. The Mekong River was known for good and evil. Exhausted to maintain afloat, I sunk toward the bottom while the cruisers chased after me, but I was nowhere to be found. Refusing to die, I fought my way back to service to my last breath. Ironically, a piece of the bamboo was arm's reach. The girl shares a piece of bamboo stick and lets the other piece go, hoping that it would reach me in time. God had timed it sweetly that day. Although it wasn't so sweet for me, my passengers would have been in big troubles if we had attempted to cross the Chattanooga that day. In spite of a near-death experience, it was a good day. Lives were saved, including mine. When it was saved on dry land, we made a decision collectively to land at kilometers number even, the outskirts of Phnom Penh by turning right at the Georgian Peninsula, then got into Tunle South towards kilometer number 7. We planned not to cross the Chattanooga. We could achieve the same result by making an adjustment. Everyone agreed, so we took the longer route. However, first we needed to spend the night at Georgian greatly so that I could have a chance to rest and recoup lost energy. The two girls were safe and sound in their relatives' arms. Although their canoes couldn't be safe, I tried but was unsuccessful. Next morning was a new day and a new experience. Phnom Penh, here I come. Unexpectedly, Phnom Penh was relatively empty. Ordinary people were forbidden to enter the city. Thousands of people congregated on the city line, and inventories assortment of merchandise was intact when the storekeepers left Phnom Penh on April 17, 1975. Those were the perfect resources to make a living through scavenging from Phnom Penh of what had been left behind. Communities of displaced Cambodians were formed. Among them, my relatives were nowhere to be found. So I established a residence at kilometers number 7 along the Tunle River before returning to Kampong Cham for a new batch of another 25 passengers. Life was considered relatively good. I could earn some rights as many couldn't say the same, but individual dreams and inspirations were not here in Cambodia. The newly formed government was under Vietnam's occupation, ruled by the communist state, where freedom was under government's control. Citizens' rights were under suppression. For me, this wasn't the way to live. where choice is limited. Among the government top echelon were former Khmer Rouge who escaped to Vietnam during the Pol Pot bloody purges, where Pol Pot was the worst of the two evils. Thank you.
Pretty good.
That's it.
Yeah, pretty good.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you everyone. So the floor is yours.
Simple, sweet, and simple, right? So now we get to another chapters. Phnom Penh. You can establish, how it look. What's look like. It's empty, nobody there. Except that Vietnamese soldiers and all the resident is established. They living around the city lines. So, any questions?
Yeah, go ahead and answer by the order that you got read. Go ahead, Kerry.
I'll say pass for now.
I have a question. Was it the norm then, after the Vietnamese came in, for strangers to band together for survival when they were traveling back to wherever they were going?
Well, I don't know if it's a norm or not, but in general, for safety, they tend to be, you know, I get trouble in group or friend who they feel that they're comfortable together. But in my case, this is a company has have been formed, and my purpose is to bring whoever from Kampong Cham to Phnom Penh who wanted to go there, but there's no way to go. So I charged them $4. So around 10 kilograms of, and nobody have any boat to do that, So that's why I decided to do that. Plus, I couldn't find my relative in Kampong Cham. So I'm hoping that I can find them in Phnom Penh, if they survive. So that's why, when I put, I'm not an ad, it's just mouth to mouth, word of mouth. I say that whoever want to go to Phnom Penh, they can come to this, section by certain hours, and we need first 25 passengers. Whoever in line first get into, the boat, and then we go. Yeah. So I found plenty, 100 of them.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And also, I was wondering, when people got to Phnom Penh or wherever after they were freed or they were liberated, when they reached their destination, did they typically just find a random house to squat in, or did they go back to their old homes? Where did they stay?
Yeah. Well, actually, they find their own random house. They build their own make shacks to live. So whoever, and most of them is women, most of them is women, and and they establish themselves on a bench of kilometer number 7. So they call it a Gloria Impel. ខ្មែរយើងខៅគីឡូលេខ7ហ្នឹងកន្លែងហ្នឹងមានគេលក់អីវ៉ៃអវ៉ាន់តិចតិចហើយខ្លះមានមកកញ្ឆេងតគួនមកកញ្ឆេងអីចឹងមកខ្លះថៃក្រាញ់ទេអីគេចាប់ក្នុងបឹងណាយកមកលក់អញ្ចឹងហើយគេនៅតាមផ្លូវហ្នឹងមានផ្ទះមានអីគេដែរតាមានផ្ទះនៅសល់អ្នកខ្លះក៏ទៅសុំគេនៅក្រោមផ្ទះអីចឹងទៅអាណាចាប់បានមុននៅខាងលើអញ្ចឹងអាណានៅខាងនេះអាណាអត់ទៅក្រោយអញ្ចឹងសុំគេជ្រកនៅខាងក្រោមផ្ទះគេទៅប៉ុន្តែភាគច្រើនគេ build ដូចយើង build shack អញ្ចឹងណា2ម៉ែត្រ4ជ្រុងអីចឹងទៅនៅគ្នា2 3នាក់អញ្ចឹងទៅនៅតាមគេជួសចិត្តនៅតាមមាត់ទន្លេព្រោះអីវាជាប់ទឹកជាប់អីចឹងទៅមានការអីវាស្រួលណាហើយនៅតាមមាត់ទន្លេពេញតាំងពីគីឡូម៉ែត្រលេខ6រហូតដល់មកគីឡូម៉ែត្រលេខ you know 7 8រហូតដល់ពេកភ្នៅ you know ណាទៅដល់ពេកភ្នៅទៅគេមានផ្ទះមានអីនៅ you know ស្រួលបួលប៉ុន្តែនៅគីឡូម៉ែត្រលេខ 7 ហ្នឹងវាជាប់នឹងអរែងពេញតែម្ដងជាប់នឹងរបងពេញណារបងហ្នឹងកន្លែងហ្នឹងមានឃ្លាំងកឃ្លាំងអំបិលឃ្លាំងអំបិល you know ខ្ញុំចូលទៅលួចឃ្លាំងអំបិលបានកន្លះអរែងកន្លះទូកដែរព្រោះសំខាន់គឺអំបិលហ្នឹងហ្មងត្រឡប់ទៅវិញយើងអត់មានអីទៅទេមិនចឹងត្រឡប់ទៅវិញអត់មានអីទៅខ្ញុំដាក់អំបិលមកកន្លះទូកហើយដល់ពេលខ្ញុំត្រឡប់ទៅត្រួយម្ខាងទៅអរិយខ្សាត់ហ្នឹងខ្ញុំទៅបេះអាផ្លែតឡាច you know តឡាចទុំខ្ញុំបេះដាក់ពេញហ្នឹងឯង you know ហើយដាក់ប្រហុកដាក់អីទៅលួចជួក្នុងកន្លែងវៀតណាមគេយកដឹកអីវាយអវ៉ាន់តាំងពីប្រហុកតាំងពីអីយកទៅវៀតណាម you know ខ្ញុំជួទៅលួចគ្នាខ្ញុំ 4 នាក់លួចប្រហុកដាក់ លួចកណាត់លួចអីពួកវាកណាត់សិតទាំងកេះហ៎ទៅទូខ្ញុំ 2-3 តោនដែរតា you know
so the Vietnamese people didn't try to help feed the Cambodians walking around, or they
no it's you on your own at the time yes
Okay.
you on your own nobody feed you anything at the time but for the first month or so people have you know some rice some meat you know but you know the Cambodian very resourceful you know you find way to make a living you know you just let them free they you know they at night what they did at night they walk into Phnom Penh they break into the store and then they take they steal like you know ចង្វាក់កង់កស៊ូកង់ស្អីហ្នឹងឯងម៉ូតូកង់ម៉ូតូអីហ្នឹងគេចូលទៅលួចគេហៅចូលលួចពេញណាកាលហ្នឹងសម័យហ្នឹងគេនិយាយចឹងចូលលួចពេញហើយពួកវៀតណាមទាហានវៀតណាមនៅពេញហ្នឹងប៉ុន្តែពេលខ្លះក៏គេមិនយកភ្នែកមើលពេលខ្លះយើងទៅច្រើនអីកន្លែងហ្នឹងក៏គេដេញគេអីចឹងណាមានបាញ់គ្នាមានអីចឹងដែរប៉ុន្តែខ្លះទៅក៏ខ្ញុំចូលបានមួយយប់ដែរខ្ញុំមើលទៅដូចជាដេញជ្រើសពេកខ្ញុំអត់ឈប់ខ្ញុំជប់ចូលខ្ញុំដើរខ្ញុំចៅទូកខ្ញុំតាមទៅគីឡូលេខ 6 គីឡូលេខ 5 គីឡូលេខ 4 នេះចៅមើលទៅស្ងាត់ខ្ញុំចូលផ្លុក មានអីស្អីហៅត្រែងដើមត្រែងអីនៅពេញហ្នឹងវាជ្រៅវាកាលនឹងជុកក្នុងត្រែងហ្នឹងវាមើលអត់ឃើញមើលយើងអត់ឃើញទៅប្រមូលដាក់ទូកយើងមកចេញមកដល់ទន្លេហើយគ្មានបណ្ដាមកតាមយើងទេ you know
yes you were transporting those people from one side of the riverbank to the other how long you were doing that ago
ខ្ញុំចៅទូករហូតទៅដល់ខែ 8
yeah how much amount of money did you make how much of resourceful that you make in order for you
we make a lot of rice you know we make a lot of rice ប៉ុន្តែយើង divide ដែរគ្នាយើង 4 នាក់ហ្នឹងយើងមិនតែខ្ញុំណាហើយអ្នកដែលធ្វើការជាមួយខ្ញុំហ្នឹងគាត់មានបងប្អូនមានកូនមានអីចៅអីចឹងគេ you know ចំគ្នាតទៅទៀតដែរណា you know ចំណែកខ្ញុំបានតែគ្នាទាំងអស់វា 4 នាក់មិនចឹង 4 នាក់ហើយទូកខ្ញុំមួយវា 5 ដូច្នេះខ្ញុំបានចំណាយ 2 you know យើងនិយាយគ្នាមុនណាខ្ញុំចង់ឲ្យលុយគេតែខ្ញុំចង់ឲ្យតា you know មួយថ្ងៃតា $4-5 ក៏បានដែរកាលនោះអ្នកដែលធ្វើការឲ្យពួករដ្ឋការអីដូចហ៊ុនសែនអីបានតែ$20ដែរអង្គមកបាយអីតាគេឲ្យ you know ប៉ុន្តែខ្ញុំរកបានច្រើនតែយើងចែកគ្នាដែរណា you know ធម្មតាវាគ្មាន you know ហើយយើងក៏មានម្នាក់$4ហ្នឹង you know ម្នាក់$4ហើយឧមាថាឥឡូវ25នាក់ហ្នឹងវាប្រហែលជា100ជាងគិតថា$ចឹងណាវា$100ហ្នឹងមួយជើងហើយមួយជើងនេះយើងចៅទូក 4 ថ្ងៃយើងចៅពីពងចាមមកពេញ 2 ថ្ងៃហើយត្រឡប់ទៅវិញ 2 ថ្ងៃទៀត ដល់ថ្ងៃទី5បានយើងមកទៀតអញ្ចឹងណា5ដាក់5ថ្ងៃបាន round បានម្ដងអញ្ចឹងណាដូច្នេះវាមិនជាអីច្រើនអីទេប៉ុន្តែគាត់ថាវាមានអត់ព្រួយពីរឿងបាយទឹកអីកាលនោះណា you know ហើយខ្ញុំចេញចូលពេញអញ្ចឹងទៅយើងអង្គដែលយើងមាននេះយើងដូរយកមាសយកអីទុកណា you know ហើយខ្ញុំស្រួលទៅសង្អីហ្នឹងក៏ខ្ញុំយកលក់ឲ្យទៅសភាឲ្យលុយមក you know ហ្នឹងហើយsource នឹងឯងហើយរស់អញ្ចឹងឯងបានខែ8បានខ្ញុំជួបវ៉ាន់ឌីកអន you know ជួបវ៉ាន់ឌីកអននៅពេញនឹងឯង you know
okay thank you uncle Logo
បាទលពូសូមសួរជាភាសាខ្មែរលពូកាលចំនួន3ឆ្នាំ8ខែ20ថ្ងៃហ្នឹងលពូមានដែលនឹកដេកយសពអីឃើញថានឹងអាចចាក់ផុតចេញពីរបបបល័យពូជសាសន៍ហ្នឹងទេលពូកាលនៅក្នុងសម័យហ្នឹងហើយសំណួរទី2ចង់សួរថាតើនៅពេលដែលលពូចាក់ផុតពីរបបបល័យពូជសាសន៍ហ្នឹងហើយលពូមានដែលគេយល់សពថាអ្វីដែលយើងបានរួចចាក់ផុតហ្នឹងគិតថាជារឿងសុបិនទេឬក៏នៅតែគិតថាវាអត់ពិតសម្រាប់យើង
អូខេចម្លើយទី1សំណួរទី1សួរថា you know តើយើងមានសម័យថាអាចផុតអីទេអត់មានសម័យទេប៉ុន្តែគ្រាន់តែថាដឹងថាសម័យដឹងអញ្ចេះដឹងថាអាចស្លាប់នៅថ្ងៃណាមួយមិនខានដឹងខ្លួនអញ្ចឹងណាប៉ុន្តែមិននឹកឃើញថាវាមិនអាចនៅអញ្ចឹងយូរទេបើសិនជាខ្ញុំនៅរស់បានយូរទៅបាន3 4 5ឆ្នាំតទៅខ្ញុំដឹងថានឹងមានហេតុការណ៍អីកើតឡើងហើយពួកអីខ្ញុំដឹងខ្លះដែរថាពួកខ្មែរក្រមនៅខាងក្នុងនឹងវាអត់ត្រូវគ្នាមានការឆ្លោះប្រកែកគ្នាហើយមានវាយគ្នាមានអីបាញ់កភ្លើងអីអញ្ចឹងម្ដងអញ្ចឹងដែរ you know ហើយគ្រាន់តែថាយើងជាប្រជាជនយើងអត់មានអីទេយើងធ្វើមិនដើម្បីអរកិច្ចដូចខ្ញុំអីធ្វើមិនអរកិច្ចផុតពីមុខពីមាត់គេកុំឲ្យគេឃើញយើងអីមិនមកគេយកយើងទៅគេថាជាងខ្មាំងអីចឹងណាអត់មានសម័យអីទេប៉ុន្តែគាត់ដឹងថាយើងខ្ញុំដូចខ្ញុំអីវាចេះតែ pray ណាថានឹងមានថ្ងៃណាមួយឲ្យតែធ្វើមិនឲ្យខ្លួនយើងរស់បានយូរបន្តិចទៅមួយថ្ងៃទៅមួយថ្ងៃណាកាលណាយើងភ្ញាក់ឡើងមួយថ្ងៃព្រលឹមឡើងអត់មានណាយកយើងទៅស្លាប់ទេអានឹងយើងឲ្យយើងរស់មួយថ្ងៃទៀតណាហើយថាពីរឿងថាបានចេញផុតមកហើយ you know តើមានចិត្តសប្បាយរីករាយអីទេខ្ញុំមើលឃើញច្បាស់កន្លែងហ្នឹង you know វាអត់មានអីខុសគ្នាពេលគ្រាន់តែខុសគ្នាតែអាពេលនោះយើងសេរីមិនសេរីយើងធ្វើអីខ្លួនឯងបានចឹងណាអត់មានណាមកបខំយើងឲ្យទៅនេះឲ្យទៅនោះទៀតទេ you know គេបខំដែរគេឲ្យយើងដូចខ្ញុំអីគេឲ្យខ្ញុំចូលទៅក្នុងមានផ្ទះមានអីយើងទៅ report ទៅប្រាប់មីភូមិអីគេចឹងណា you know ប៉ុន្តែខ្ញុំនៅផ្ទះខ្ញុំធ្វើនៅពេញនោះ you know ហើយខ្ញុំជាអ្នករកស៊ីអញ្ចឹងយើងចេញចូលអញ្ចឹងវាអត់មានអី you know វាអត់មានអីកាលនោះឆ្នាំមុនដំបូង 4-10 ខែមុនដំបូងវាអត់មានអី you know តែណារកស៊ីបានប៉ុណ្ណឹងឯង you know កាលនោះប៉ុន្តែគាត់ដឹងថាមើលទៅវាអត់សភាពការវាដដែលណា you know គាត់នឹងជួបទៅយកទៅផ្ទះយើងវិញគេមិនឲ្យចូលមើលផ្ទះយើងផងហ្នឹងជួបអត់បានហ្នឹង you know ទៅយប់ជួបបានជួទៅលួចពេញហើយម្នាក់ជួទៅលួចពេញហ្នឹងឆ្អឹងមានភ្នែកនឹងឆ្អឹងកខ្លាចនឹងងាប់ថ្ងៃណាមានមនុស្សងាប់តើពួកជួនណាទៅវៀតណាមបាញ់ you know ខនឈ្នះបាញ់ទៅត្រូវងាប់អីចឹងដែរហ្នឹងហើយកាលហ្នឹងគាត់ថាខ្ញុំមើលវាមានភ័ព្វសំណាងខ្លាំងជាងគេដោយសារខ្ញុំមានអាទូកហ្នឹងបានអាទូកហ្នឹងសេរីភាពនឹងទូកហ្នឹងឯង you know travel ពីកំពង់ចាមពេញ you know រហូតដល់ខែ8 you know បានខ្ញុំនឹកឃើញថាហើយជាពិសេសអ្នកដែលចៅទូកមួយខ្ញុំគេមានបងប្អូនគេមិនសង់គេចង់នៅជួបជុំគេចៅទូកអីចឹងគេវាមានគ្រោះថ្នាក់ដែរណាមិនមែនស្រួលទេចៅទូកហ្នឹង you know ជាពិសេស you know ចូលមកម្ដងវៀតណាមគេទប់ស្កាត់យើងប៉ុន្តែដល់ពេលខ្ញុំយូរទៅដូចថាកន្លែងចែកកន្លែងគេខាត់ខាំងហ្នឹងដូចស្គាល់យើងរៀនថែមវៀតណាមពី3ម៉ាត់ថែមទៀតទៅ you know អត់មកដល់កន្លែងហ្នឹងយើងដឹងថាយើងប្រុងព្រៀបមកយកមន់2 3មក you know យើងដូរណាដូរមន់2 3មកយកឲ្យគេទៅគេឲ្យយើងទៅហ្នឹងហើយអត់មានអីទេកាលនោះសំខាន់បំផុតគឺខ្ញុំឃើញទូកប៉ាល់សាឡាងធំដឹកអីវ៉ៃវ៉ាន់ពីពេញទៅវៀតណាមសាឡាងគេសប៉ែតដាក់រាប់តោនហើយគេមានកណូត2នោះទុញទៅយប់ចេញហើយយប់ចេញទុកចេញពីពេញទៅវៀតណាមហើយខ្ញុំនៅនឹងខ្ញុំសម័យលពូចៅទូកហ្នឹងពីកំពង់ចាមមកភ្នំពេញចំណាយពេលប្រហែលថ្ងៃទៅលពូបានអាចមកដល់ភ្នំពេញបានពីកំពង់ចាមមកពេញ2ថ្ងៃចឹងហើយពីពេញទៅកំពង់ចាមវិញ2ថ្ងៃដូចគ្នាជួនហើយ4ថ្ងៃហ្នឹងហើយប៉ុន្តែពីកំពង់ចាមមកពេញយើងបានអង្គបានលុយបានអញ្ចឹងទៅប៉ុន្តែពេលស្រាប់ទៅវិញយើងអត់មានអីទេភាសាទៅលើយើងពេលហ្នឹងយើងឆ្លាតដូចខ្ញុំអី you know អត់បានលើកទី1យើងដឹងហ្សឺណាយើងដឹងហ្សឺហើយខ្ញុំចូលទៅដាក់ឃ្លោកដាក់ស្អីពីអរិយខ្សាត់ហ្នឹងទៅyou know ដល់ពេលហ្នឹងយើងដឹងហ្សឺហើយខ្ញុំចូលទៅដល់ពីមចកងទៅអីទៅដូរយកអំបិលហើយនឹងប្រហុកខ្ញុំហ្នឹងណាយកទៅដូរយកកម្មាបុពីមខាងពីមចកងខាងពេកពោកន្លែងហ្នឹងគេធ្វើកម្មាគេត្បាញប្រជាជនត្បាញប្រមាបានលក់ភ្លាមហ្នឹងណា you know ខ្ញុំដូរយកកម្មាទាំងអស់ you know ប្រហុកខ្ញុំប្រហុកច្រើនទាំងអីហ្នឹងខ្ញុំដាក់រាប់ពីងខ្ញុំមកដូរយកកម្មាឡើង you know នឹងយកទៅណា you know ហ្នឹងហើយអត់មាន you know អ្នកពីមកងពេលអីគេទូធាដោយសារគេបានត្បាញភ្លាមគេត្បាញកម្មាបានលក់ភ្លាមហ្នឹងហើយមានអីទៀត Kerry មានសំណួរនៅលោកគ្រូ Derrick Derrick
ខ្ញុំអូខេខ្ញុំមានសំណួរទូកលោកគ្រូ25តំណែងដំណើរបាន25នាក់ទូកនោះមិនជាទូកប៉ុន្មានទេលោកគ្រូតាមមើល25នាក់
ទេច្រើនណាទូកធំចៅ4នាក់ឡើងប្រឹងណាចៅ you know
រួចខ្ញុំចង់ដឹងថាដំណើរដែលលោកគ្រូធ្វើដំណើរទៅ2ថ្ងៃអញ្ចឹងចង់និយាយថាអ្នកដែលជិះនឹងសត passenger នឹងសអ្នកគេឈ្មោះរុស្ស៊ីឬក៏អ្នកធម្មតាឆ្លងកាត់ដើម្បីទៅណាទៅណីអីផ្សេងទៀតទេឬក៏
អ្នកគេចង់ទៅពេញអ្នកដែលខ្លួនហ្នឹងអ្នកដែលគេរត់ចេញពីតំបន់ណាដែលគេលឺមកពីខាងខ្លះមកពីដល់រហូតដល់សៀមរាបអីនោះមកដល់ហ្នឹងហើយដល់ពេលហ្នឹងចាក់ទៅពេញទៅអត់រួចទៅជារួចឯងប៉ុន្តែយើងដើរកន្លះខែមួយខែទៀតទៅ you know ពីពងចាមទៅពេញដល់ហើយ you know ចំណាយពេល$4
ឬក៏ថ្លៃដែរលោកគ្រូមានគេតថ្លៃតម្លៃអីដូចថាឥឡូវតាមកំប៉ុងយក3កំប៉ុងបានហើយនេះឯងអញ្ចឹងគេតថ្លៃដែរអត់
គេតថ្លៃតាគេតថ្លៃតាពី5 10គីឡូមហូត10គីឡូអត់មានទៀតគឺថាណាមាន10គីឡូណាមាន10គីឡូឡើងទូក
លោកឲ្យយើងចាតថ្លៃយ៉ាងណាជីថ្មក៏អញ្ចឹងដែរតថ្លៃ
you know វាតថ្លៃជាតប៉ុន្តែគាត់យើងវាដឹងកំណត់ហើយណាតថ្លៃអត់មានអត់ទេនឹងធ្វើម៉េចឥឡូវព្រោះមនុស្សច្រើននឹងអីហ្នឹងគេចង់ជីកមក
បានទុកធំមក25នាក់
ពី3ខែមុនដំបូងមនុស្សនៅចាំហ្នឹងហើយ
បាទខ្ញុំមានប៉ុណ្ណឹងហើយគ្រូឲ្យគេតទៀតណា
មានទៀត Kerry you have any question
does the word of the river what's the name where is it Jamuktuk have a what
Chatumuk
yeah Chatumuk does it mean anything
គឺ four ways river 4 ways mid you know, delay. I mean, have you gone to been to Cambodia?
Never.
Never.
Never been to Cambodia once.
As how about Gloria? You never been to Cambodia?
Yeah, I was there in 2012. I stayed there for 2 months.
Okay. ចាក់ទៅមុខយើងឃើញកន្លែងហ្នឹងបំពេញណានៅមុខពាំងណាមិនចឹងផ្លូវនៅទន្លេហ្នឹងបែកជា4មួយមកពីខាងពងចាមកទៅពីពងចាមកទៅវៀតណាមអាហ្នឹងពីកាលហ្នឹងគេហៅពី north south ពី north to south ហើយឡើងទៅទន្លេទន្លេសាបឡើងទៅលើហ្នឹងទៅខាងជើងហើយពីកន្លែងទៅខាងស្រុកយួនហ្នឹងមានទន្លេទូចមួយទៀតគេហៅឈ្មោះថាបាសាក់ហ្នឹងណាទន្លេហ្នឹងអញ្ចឹងបានគេហៅទន្លេចែកជាកន្លែងហ្នឹងគេហៅចាក់ទៅមុខហ្នឹងគឺដូចជាសមុទ្រអញ្ចឹងវាធំមើលត្រោយមិនឃើញដែរហ្នឹងណាyou know ហើយកន្លែងហ្នឹងតាំងពីដើមមកមានទូកមានអីលិចកប៉ាល់លិចអីនៅមុខនៅកន្លែងហ្នឹងច្រើនមនុស្សស្លាប់ច្រើននៅដុំហ្នឹងតាំងពីដើមមកមានតែមកលើដល់តាំងពីដើមមកyou know ចំណាទៅកប៉ាល់មកទឹកគួចនៅកន្លែងហ្នឹងភ្លឹបលិចបាត់រកឃើញនឹងចាក់ទៅមុខហ្នឹងហើយមិនដែរចាក់ទៅមុខមិន Kerry មានសំណួរអីពីរឿងចាក់ទៅមុខហ្នឹង
Oh, I thought maybe it had the name of the river had a what's called a meaning or something like when it's translated or something.
Yeah, it's mean four ways
Oh, really?
You know ចាក់តុនឹង4 you know មុខនឹង face four face four ways
Oh, okay.
Division you know ទន្លេនឹង four way division
លពូចង់សួរត្រឡប់ទៅរឿងដើមបន្តិចហើយចុងក្រោយចង់សួរពីការសម្រេចចិត្តលពូផ្លាស់ប្ដូរមុខរបរហេតុលពូកត្តាអីជំរុញឲ្យលពូប្រកបរបរជាអ្នករត់ទូកពីកំពង់ចាមមកភ្នំពេញអាហ្នឹងចង់ដឹងពីដើមហេតុតិចលពូហើយកត្តាទីសំណួរទី2ចង់សួរលពូដែរថាតើចុងក្រោយមិនបានសម្រេចចិត្តឈប់ប្រកបរបរជាអ្នករត់ទូកហ្នឹងបាទ
supply និង demand មុនដំបូងវា supply និង demand យើងមានទូកមិនអញ្ចឹងហើយគេត្រូវការធ្វើដំណើរហើយ100 I mean ម្នាក់10គីឡូវាថោកមែនប៉ុន្តែកាលពេលនោះ you know មានបណ្ណារោគបានមិនអញ្ចឹងមានបណ្ណារោគអីកើត you know យើងរកបាន you know ហើយគ្នាអ្នកណាលក់អីវ៉ៃវ៉ាន់ហ្នឹងមកចំណេញមកកំប៉ុងពីកំប៉ុងមួយថ្ងៃហ្នឹងគ្នាអហើយមិនអញ្ចឹងអាហ្នឹង supply និង demand ហ្នឹងឯងបានខ្ញុំធ្វើហ្នឹងឯងចែកទូកអញ្ចឹងឯងហើយពីរឿងថាវាឈប់ហ្នឹងមកពីខ្ញុំនឹកឃើញថាវាមិនស្រួលហើយម្យ៉ាងទៀតវាមានអីអ្នកគេ competition ណា you know competition ហ្នឹងគឺវៀតណាមហ្នឹងគេតែម្ដងគេយកទូកគេធំទូកគេទូកប៉ាទូកអីគេទូកធំដឹកកន្លែង
កណូតលពូកណូត
No ទូកចែវទូកហៅទូកប៉ាអីគេនោះទូកចែវហ្មងអត់មានកាន់នោះមានកណូតណាអត់ទាន់មានទេ you know ទូកនឹងអាចែវគេដាក់មនុស្សរាប់40នាក់100នាក់អីហ្នឹងហើយគេយកតែ
អូគេសាឡាងឯងលពូសាឡាង
មែនទេមានសាឡាងឯងចែវទូក
កបូនគេហៅកបូន
មែនទេទូកប៉ាចាយមិនគេនោះគេហៅទូកណាមគេ
ចាយ
ហ្នឹងណា
ទូកប៉ាចាយ
ហ្នឹងណាគេយកមកហើយដល់ក្រោយមកគេមានបច្ចេកទេសគេដាក់ម៉ាស៊ីនដាក់អីចឹងណាហើយគេយកអង្គដូចថាគេយកតិចជាងយើងអីចឹងទៅណាហើយខ្ញុំនឹកឃើញថា you know ជួបបណ្ឌីកូនជួបអីហ្នឹងគាត់ចេះប្រាប់ថាមកធ្វើការអីមកមួយគេមួយឯងណាខ្ញុំក៏ចិត្តគ្មានចិត្តចង់អីដែរប៉ុន្តែ you know ហើយម្យ៉ាងទៀតចិត្តខ្ញុំចង់ចេញមកក្រៅហើយហ្នឹងចង់ចេញមកហើយហ្នឹងដល់ហើយយើងត្រូវសម្របសម្រួលយើងឈប់យើងលក់ទូកលក់អីហ្នឹងទៅឲ្យគេទៅ you know បានយើងចេញមក you know ខ្ញុំប្រុងប្រៀបចេញមកហើយនឹង
Okay. យើងអរគុណលោកគ្រូមួយទៀតហ្នឹងខ្ញុំចង់ដឹង can you explain a little bit what's a parable between surviving the killing field to the donkey?
Well, as the story it is a good story to tell because you know ជា meaning chapter ហ្នឹងគឺ meaning ចឹងហើយមានន័យយើងហ្នឹងជាអ្នកហៅថាជាអ្នករងគ្រោះយើងគេថាយើងរួចពីស្លាប់ហ្នឹងដោយសារយើងមានចិត្តអំណត់អត់ធន់យើងមានភាគច្រើនហ្នឹងគឺយើងត្រូវតែរៀនសវាយចេញពីខ្លួនយើងតែម្ដងអញ្ចឹងណាយើងអត់សុខចិត្តស្ដាប់ដូចជា compare ទៅ donkey ហ្នឹងឃើញកងភាគច្រើនគឺ donkey ហ្នឹងគេនៅក្នុងដូងហ្នឹងគេចាក់ដីទៅវាងាប់បាត់ហើយវាគ្មានអីត្រូវរស់មិនអញ្ចឹងប៉ុន្តែ donkey នឹង compare មនុស្សយើងកាលហ្នឹងយើងមនុស្សយើងជាប់យើងវាឆ្លាត donkey នឹងវាឆ្លាត you know ពេលយើងចង់ប្រាប់ថាមនុស្សយើងម្នាក់ក៏ដោយអាពេលដែលយើងជួបនឹងអរិញសេចក្តីទុក្ខ you know វាទោះបីយើងថាយើងនឹងងាប់ហើយប៉ុន្តែតែយើងតែមានសង្ឃឹមតែយើងមាននៅដកដង្ហើមបានគឺយើងនៅមានសង្ឃឹមត្រូវតែរកមធ្យោបាយយ៉ាងម៉េចកិច្ច you know កិច្ចខ្លួនឲ្យផុតដូច donkey ចឹង you know គាត់ដឹងថាគាត់ងាប់ហើយប៉ុន្តែគាត់មិនចង់ងាប់ទេដូច្នេះគេចាក់ដីមកប៉ាល់ទៅលើខ្នងគាត់ជា you know គាត់อะไร shake อะไรដីហ្នឹងទៅចូលទៅដល់ពេលវា shake ដីអស់ពីហ្នឹងទៅអាដីហ្នឹងវាជាខ្ពស់ទៅមិនចឹងជួនឹងដងមិនចឹងខ្ពស់ទៅមកដល់ចិត្តកោដងដើរចេញទៅវិញហើយខ្មែរយើងក៏ចឹងដែរហើយអ្នកភៀសខ្លួនដែលយើងរត់ចេញមក you know អាហ្នឹងហើយអាពេលហ្នឹងយើងខំប្រឹងខ្នះខ្នែង you know រងករកអីត្រីស្អីក៏នេះដែរអ្នកខ្លះទៅកាប់អស័យកាប់អីធ្វើក្បូនធ្វើអីធ្វើជាទូកជាអីចឹងដែលយកទៅ you know ធ្វើតែនេសាទដាក់មងឬក៏ឃើញទាំងអស់ you know ខ្លះដាក់ហាស់ភ្លាមនោះកាប់អស័យកាប់អីពីយកពីលើកចេះពីអីមកធ្វើក្បូនធ្វើអីនោះមកយកមកលក់នៅយកអស័យហ្នឹងយកមកលក់នៅអីពងចាមលក់នៅពេញព្រោះគេត្រូវការអស័យធ្វើផ្ទះធ្វើអីចឹងភ្លាមហ្នឹងឯងកើតជាอะไรញ៉ា businessman businesswoman នឹងភ្លាមហ្នឹងឯង you know ដូចស្ថាយមើលឃើញដែរផ្លែតគាត់តែប៉ុណ្្នឹងគាត់ខ្លាយទៅជា merchant មាសលក់អង្គនឹងភ្លាមហ្នឹងឯង you know ណា opportunity កាលនោះ opportunity ស្រាប់តែលើយើងបង្កើតខ្លួនឯង you know ដូចជារែងdonkey នឹងចឹងគាត់បង្កើត opportunity ខ្លួនឯងហើយ compare មកខ្មែរយើងដែលរត់ភៀសខ្លួនចេញពីពលពតមកអាពេលនោះគាត់ថាម្នាក់រៀងខ្លួនអត់មានណាជួយណាកើតទេមិនចឹងបាទ you know ប៉ុន្តែគាត់ថាបើសិនជាក្នុង process ហ្នឹងដែលយើងធ្វើហ្នឹងបើសិនជាយើងអាចជួយគេបានយើងគួរតែជួយដូចជាអ្នកដែលជិះទូខ្ញុំហ្នឹងយ៉ាងណាធម្មតាមហូបអាហារហ្នឹងខ្ញុំអត់មានត្រូវការអីឲ្យប្រវាយឲ្យគាត់នេះខ្លួនឯងណាប៉ុន្តែខ្ញុំមានសំណាញ់បងសំណាញ់ទៅត្រីហ្នឹងខ្ញុំអត់ទេចែកឲ្យពួកគាត់ញ៉ាំចឹងគាត់ដាំបាយដាំអីខ្លួនឯងចឹងទៅយើងមានត្រីនឹងនំនេះអាំងទៅអ៊ីតទៅចឹងណាមកហើយគាត់គេចូលចិត្តដល់គេដឹងចឹងអូគេអត់សូវព្រួយចឹងណាគេណាអត់ខ្លះអត់ដែរហ្នឹងគេណាខ្លះឲ្យអង្គយើងអស់ហើយដល់ពេលមកដល់ច្រាំងហើយ you know ទេតាអត់មានអីទៅឲ្យគេវិញទៅ you know
Thank you, Lepu. So I would like to take this opportunity to ask Kerry Chhay because among us we been to Cambodia, so at least we learn something from your trip to Cambodia. So Kerry Chhay, could you tell us you have like any plan or you wish to visit Cambodia sometime?
I don't know really, because most of the families on my dad's side they live in Battambang, but I'm not really close with the relatives really. So maybe I just visit Phnom Penh and some other tourist destination like Angkor Wat or Preah Vihear probably, and that's it probably.
That is your plan, right?
Yeah, just that's it.
Okay, good. I wish your dream that is like your dream become true very soon. So I would like to take this opportunity to ask Gloria as well. So you've been to Cambodia in 2012. So
Yeah.
once you arrived Cambodia, so what is your first impression?
Oh, I had a really big culture shock. I was very, I was really tired when I got there, and as soon as I got there, I noticed that the infrastructure was kind of bad. Lots of wires everywhere. There's lots of trash everywhere. So that was kind of a shock to me. And the smells at like where the Russian market, because I lived next to the Russian market while I was there, and every time I walked by, I would smell a strong odor. But the longer I stayed there, the more I enjoyed my time there, because I got used to all the things that shocked me at first, and I I eventually really liked the pace of life there and going to the markets every day. And I really wish I could go back. It was a once in a lifetime experience to be able to go there and study abroad with a bunch of classmates, and just to experience it in that way.
Yes, and 2012 is already been progress already, much progress. And if you go to in the 90s, then it's harder, much harder, harsh. I would say.
Lots of more dirt roads back then.
Dust, a lot of dust. Anywhere you go is dust.
Even just crossing the street, then it was scary. I was afraid to cross the street because the cars just, or the motos just zoom by, and everywhere you go, somebody asks, tuk, 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 tuk.
Yeah, it's fun. It depends on how you take it. I find that very enjoyable. Riding tuk-tuk. I like to ride the motorbike. It's easier.
We rode the motorbike too. We rented a motorbike actually when we were there. It was really an amazing experience. I would love to go back.
Yeah. It's a acquiring taste like a foods, but if you have some kind of tie in Cambodia, you cannot help but to get a touch, because most people in general is very kind, very nice, but I'm not sure about in the city. But if you get out of the city, go to the province or village, they feed you, they shelter you, they, even though they have nothing, they still find meal for you to eat,
Yeah, we did quite a few. We went to quite a few cities while we were there too. We did a homestay with a Cambodian family for a couple of days.
That's tough.
The family was very kind.
Yeah. Really homestay is tough. Even though I used to live over there, it's tough. I can't make it. I had to stay in hotel, because it's cheap. It's not that expensive.
We only did it for the cultural experience. Most of the time we were in our own apartment, but I did get a lot of bug bites while I was there. So
bug bites,
that was the hardest thing. I got like 50 bites on my legs. Crazy.
Mosquito too. That's why I couldn't be in the house, regular house. Go in a hotel, then you can avoid all that.
Hopefully after COVID-19, we are planning to accompany Dr. Sieng Seng to visit Cambodia, especially to the place where he been for 3 years, 8 months, 20 days. Where is my birthplace? It is the Posat province. So that is my dream with Dr. Sieng Seng, because I really want to accompany him to visit the place.
It could be a very good project, raise some money, spend some money to help out those the village that he lived there. I'm pretty sure they will surprise when they saw him again and you come in as a you know, as a providers, you know, because I told him already, I feel you know, feel healing when I go to the village that I was, you know, during the Khmer Rouge, you know. So I bought a lot of rice, especially for the kid. I bought a lot of school supply, you know, and for elders, rice and krama. They like the krama, so the sarong and krama. They like that, and it feel, you know, it feel very healing. That because they appreciate it. They never understood that. Why would I, you know, suffer so much in the village, in the place, and then you know, went back and give them, you know, give them gift. They, they don't understand that. They say, you know, some of them that kind of bad, you know, they never come, they don't come around, put it this way. They feel ashamed. You know, I'm actually looking for those people. I told them to come in, you know, give them. And I have, even though they're not coming, I knew them, yeah. So you kind of send along with somebody to give them stuff. Yeah.
បាទខ្ញុំសូមនិយាយខ្មែរទីចោះតាមពិតខ្ញុំអ្នកកើតនៅជំនាន់ប៉ុលពតហើយខ្ញុំបានឆ្លងកាត់ជីវិតពីកូនងារហូតទៅដល់មានគ្រួសារហើយទៅមានឱកាសបានមករស់នៅសហរដ្ឋអាមេរិកនេះជិត3ឆ្នាំប្រជាជនខ្មែរយើងទោះបីជាឆ្លងកាត់នៅភាពលំបាកជូរចត់វេទនាជាពិសេសក្នុងរបប3ឆ្នាំ8ខែ20ថ្ងៃហ្នឹងប៉ុន្តែពួកគាត់ដូចអ្វីដែលលោកពូ Patrick កែវគាត់មានប្រសាសន៍អញ្ចឹងគាត់អត់តាទ្របធនអត់តាគេហៅថារបស់ក្រៅខ្លួនប៉ុន្តែទឹកចិត្តគាត់ប្រពៃហើយជាពិសេសបង្កប់ទៅដោយស្នាមញញឹមបាទគេហៅថា the people of smile បាទពួកគាត់តែឃើញយើងគាត់បញ្ចេញនៅស្នាមញញឹមរបស់គាត់ដែរទោះបីជាគាត់បានន័យថាជីវភាពខ្វះខាតគាត់ខំប្រឹងប្រែងក្នុងដំណើរជីវិតប្រចាំថ្ងៃក៏ដោយប៉ុន្តែក៏អត់ចោលស្នាមញញឹមគាត់ទេអានឹងហើយដែលជាជនជាតិផ្សេងទៀតពិបាកនឹងធ្វើបានអានឹងគឺជា uniqueness សម្រាប់ប្រជាជនខ្មែរយើងទី1ស្នាមញញឹមទី2ទឹកចិត្តដល់ប្រពៃរបស់គាត់ដោយអ្វីដែលលោកពូ Patrick កែវគាត់មានប្រសាសន៍ចឹងបាទអញ្ចឹងយើងគួរតែមោទនភាពចំពោះជនជាតិខ្មែរយើងមិនទាន់និយាយទៅដល់គេហៅថាអរិយធម៌វប្បធម៌គេហៅថា temple ប្រាង្គប្រាសាទរាប់ពាន់កន្លែងនៅជុំវិញស្រុកខ្មែរដែលដូនតាយើងបន្សល់ទុកឲ្យយើងផងបាទអញ្ចឹងយើងគួរតែមោទនភាពចំពោះជនជាតិខ្មែរទោះបីជាយើងបានឆ្លងកាត់នៅភាពល្វីងជូរចត់មកក៏ដោយយើងគិតថាប្រទេសណាក៏ឆ្លងកាត់ដូចយើងដែរភាគច្រើនហើយរហូតដល់បច្ចុប្បន្នហ្នឹងមានប្រទេសខ្លះក៏នៅកំពុងតែវេទនាជួបនៅសង្គ្រាមបានន័យថានៅបន្តវេទនានៅពេលដែលយើងគិតថាយើងបានធូរស្បើយយើងបានចាប់សពគ្រប់អស់ហើយបាទ Okay, so for the second round, before we end our program, please.
Okay, who start first?
We'll start.
Okay.
Yes, thank you, Gloria, for sharing the story that you went there. Yes, I've been there since 2000 myself too. And after many years ago there, I come to learn that I like to visit countryside, but staying in Phnom Penh, I like Topf myself. But staying in the countryside, I like to ride ox wagon. That's one of my favorite hobby to do when I'm out there. All people is kind-hearted and very compassionate and very humanistic. And no people in the world compared to our people. The reason why I say that because they have less, but yet in their heart, they have more. They come together every night to eat amount of people that I see that they share whatever they got. So by me going there, that's why I'm very compassionate to do more for them to create a job of some sort for the villager. Because if we out here, you think we have plentiful, they have less, but yet they have more. That is more powerful. That you know to learn from. Well, it's very beautiful to experience that. So Kerry, Chhay, if you're able to come, if I'm there with you, I will show you to the countryside. Trust me, it's very beautiful out there. And also you're gonna meet beautiful people as in term of, like I said, very kind-hearted and compassion and lovely people. And we are the people of the temple of the Angkor Wat, just like teacher Sanghat says. So we have many temple that you can go see and enjoy that beauty and in the aspect of if you want to tour that route. Well, Mr. Patrick, I just want to know one thing, that you have the kind heart to save these two girls from drowning on the boat. Did you ever ran across them again, and whatever happened to their life?
Actually, I you know, many trip that I went back to Cambodia, I did when I did go back to Chojongwa, you know, to where I stayed the first night in Phnom Penh, and trying to find them to see, you know, how they grown and, you know, who they are. But the villagers or people over there, you know, told me that they moved from that place to Takao, to
Okay.
you know, toward Vietnam. Yes. Well, you know, it's I mean, actually, you know, I'm taking, because I feel in my heart at the time, you know, I saw it. And is if you don't do anything, that girl have no chance. You know, they have no chance because the canoes, her canoe is sinks. Some canoe can float, but her canoe sink.
Yeah.
And I couldn't make decision to take the boat, row the boat to them, because I'm afraid that, you know, the water might get into, you know. So I told the crew, the 3 people, and say that, okay, you row it to the, you know, go to the shore, and I go save them. And the sooner you get to the shore, come go after me. But they couldn't find me because I was in, you know, toward the bottom of the, you know, water already. You know, and that decision saved both our lives. And the girl very clever. They're very clever, you know. They knew because they couldn't get to me, right? This they're not this, I would say, like 14, 15 years old girl, you know. They're very strong, very tough, you know. You know, they brave, you know, rowed canoe across that river. Um, I just feel that I gotta do something, because I'm a, you know, good swimmer, and plus I feel that at least I have the 2 bamboo stick that I cut, you know, about, maybe about 1 meter, it's about a yard each, you know, because I knew that, and I have about 10, 12 of them, just in case, because just in case something wrong with the, you know, boat, you know, 2 people can hang on to the one bamboo stick, and then you can just kick, you know, to the sides. So I'm prepared. You know, not that I'm not prepared. I anticipated that. So then I took the 2. You know, when I get to them, you know, actually, you know, they want to hang around to kind of help out, but I just told them, no, you cannot. You just go. You know, is I do it, then when the canoe will float, then I can row the canoe back. But no, I couldn't do it because I cannot. You know, for some reason the water keep coming in, because the strong wind is no wind. I probably would have do it. I have done it. I almost did it. You know, the float already. You know, it float already. You know, so I trying to get the water out now. You know, by hand, because it's float already. But then, you know, the water coming back, the waves. That's it. You know, I said I cannot do it anymore. And she, you know what she did? She just left one go. You know, can you believe that? She was brave. You know, she let one go, and then 2 other girl, you know, hang on to the one, and they get kicked to the shore. You know.
Thank you. Yes, my next one is this. Thank you for that insight. There's always vary on how many people lost their life during the regime of Pol Pot. In your opinion, how many people lost their lives? I heard 1.5, over 2 million, 2 million. In your opinion, what do you think? How many people really actually lost their lives?
I will say a lot more. You know, I would say a lot more than 2 million. The reason is not just the new people that will get killed. The old people also get killed too. The Khmer itself, and also what you call it, older. Mulatan, Mulatan people celebrated, and the reason is that, let's say in my village, right, all new people is gone. Why I wouldn't say all, only a handful of it still survive. In that sense, it gotta be more than 2 millions.
Okay, thank you. Yes.
And the next door, yes, and plus the Mulatan, the Khmer itself. And because you can tell that when the Khmer, you can count it, they only have about 4 million, 4 million people left. So, and 7.7 started, so at least 3 million, I would assume. They have 4 million left.
I think it's the same thing. Yeah. Okay.
3.3 and a half, 3.7 million die, because when they counted toward the end, I don't know if the statistic is correct or not, but they say it's about 4 million left, 4.2 or so, and that's an, 3.5 million die. But it's kind of hard to, and Pol Pot and Phoun, he said no. Noon Chia, they don't believe that much. It's died, they probably said like, couple of thousand people, the military people. The military, so. Okay, Gloria, you have any question?
Yeah. So, Gloria, you have any other question before we end the program?
No, not at this moment.
Okay, yeah. So, the group Derrick.
Derrick, have any question?
Okay, okay. Trong krau, okay, please, the group Derrick.
I think it's good enough for me, because it's talking about this page here is 131. It's talking about the Vietnamese soldiers accepted our dried fish. I go, that block that you want to get through, so you have to pay something and then make them happy and let you go, right?
Yeah, it's just
it's like control or a blockade.
Yeah, because they call it
block off.
យាមតាមផ្លូវអញ្ចឹងណា ប្លុកកោគេយាមអញ្ចឹងណា ហើយកន្លែងហ្នឹងវាជិតមកដល់ពេញហើយតែគេអត់ឲ្យចូលយើងអត់អាចចូលបានទេព្រោះទូកយើងវាធំដែរហើយមនុស្សវាច្រើននោះហើយយើងនឹកឃើញថាកុំឲ្យមានរឿងញ៉ៃអីច្រើនគាត់ថាមន់ពី3ត្រីប្រឡាក់ពី3គីឡូដូចជាជួយឲ្យគ្នាទាំងគេទាំងយើងណាព្រោះយើងមានយើងមិនមែនថាយើងមានអីច្រើនទេគាត់ថាយើងអាចធ្វើកើតអញ្ចឹងណាព្រោះពាក្យច្រើនអាត្រីហ្នឹងយើងខ្ញុំបងសំណាញ់ហ្នឹងត្រីរៀលហ្នឹងអាត្រីរៀលត្រីលេងហ្នឹងណាហើយអ្នកទូកអ្នកអីដែលមកជាមួយហ្នឹងគេជួយធ្វើជួយអីចឹងទៅហើយយើងប្រឡាក់ត្រីខ្ញុំអត់ដែរអំបិលខ្ញុំលួចពីពួកនឹងមកលើរប់ពួកហ្នឹងវៀតណាមពួកទាហានវៀតណាមទេលោកគ្រូនៅទាហានវៀតណាមអត់មានខ្មែរយើងទេណាជំនាន់ហ្នឹងអត់មានខ្មែរយើងនៅពេញនៅក្នុងពេញទាហានខ្មែរយើងណាប៉ុន្តែភាគច្រើនអត់ទាន់អត់ទាន់មកដល់ទេតំណងដូចជាហេងសំរិនជាស៊ីមអីហ្នឹងគាត់មកក្រោយទេវៀតណាមដឹកមកក្រោយទេគាត់មិនមែនវាយចូលទេដូចជាហ៊ុនសែនហ្នឹងក៏ដែរវៀតណាមគេឈ្នះហើយគេដឹកមកចូលមកទេគាត់មិនមែនមកវាយជាមួយគេដើរវាយ ដូចថាមកបាញ់វៀតណាមអីទេអត់ទេ you know គ្មានខ្មែរណាទាហានខ្មែរណាម្នាក់ទេមានតែវៀតណាមទាំងអស់អានឹងតាមភ្នែកផ្ទាល់របស់ខ្ញុំណា you know ដល់ក្រោយមកទៀតទេបានឃើញបានមាន you know 2 ខែ 1 ខែក្រោយមក 2 ខែក្រោយមកបានឃើញខ្ញុំជួលទៅពេញជួលអីនឹងទៅខ្ញុំឃើញបានឃើញមាន you know ឃើញមានខ្មែរយើងហើយក៏គេមានអីគេមាន minister មានអីចឹងណា you know ប៉ែនសវណ្ណនេះគាត់ចែកឲ្យគាត់ឬបញ្ញវន្តថ្មីថ្មីឲ្យចូលចឹងដូចជាអីឈ្មោះអីកាយកម្យានអីចូលក្រោយតាកាយកម្យានហ្នឹងពួកបញ្ញវន្តដូចពួកខ្ញុំនឹងដែរ you know ចូលប៉ុន្តែគាត់ចូលទៅខាងទាហាន you know កាយកម្យានគាត់ diploma តាបើអង diploma you know ហើយគាត់ទៅហ្វឹកហ្វឺនទាហានខ្ញុំទៅខាងរដ្ឋបាលខាងគយ
អូខេ
បាទអរគុណលោក
អូខេលោកពូសូមពី3ចំណុចតាក់ទងនឹងជំពូកទី17នេះ to take away for today program on chapter 17.
Yeah, again, you know, takeaway point is that through the process in life, you know, even though you in a hardship or, you know, you need to be conscious to the need of other, you know, and the same thing, you know, on the trip, you know, the Vietnam soldiers, many occasion and an encounter with them, you know, share what I have with them and seem to be brought in a lot of friendship, you know, and feel good about it. And, you know, hoping the girl to save their life and in the return, they save my life by, you know, get go of the bamboo stick. And through my process, you know, when you see the need, you help out, you know, when, you know, the passenger, they give you all their rights and then they don't have anything to eat. So what you're going to do, you gotta give them back, you know, give them back the, you know, the food so that they can start their life, you know. That is a point of giveaway that, yes, and plus you gotta you make your own decision, you make your own circumstances. The circumstances not gonna dictate what you do. You know, you create your own circumstances, even though myself, I create my own circumstances, you know, and then when I feel that I cannot, I project it, I say, no, do I need to live to stay there for the rest of my life? No, the answer is no. Then, you know, the chapter gonna see that how I escape, you know. But then I decided that, and then, but the end of the chapter that I decided that it's no way to live already because of the oppression, yeah, the same communist, except just different uniform, you know, but the same, you know. ដូចស្គាល់គ្នាតាណាហ៊ុនសែនគាត់អ្នកស្ទឹងត្រង់ដូចគ្នាដែរយ៉ាងណាហើយទៅរៀនសាលាដល់ពេលចូលមុនដំបូងហ្នឹងហើយសាលានយោបាយនៅពេញហ្នឹងគេហៅ Premier Promotion ហ្នឹងហ៊ុនសែនជាស៊ីមអីហ្នឹងទៅរៀនសាលាហ្នឹងតា you know
បាទ
ប៉ុន្តែខ្ញុំវាអត់ចូលវាយអីជាមួយគេខ្ញុំចូលក្រោយមកណាចូលក្រោយជាមួយវ៉ាន់ឌីកូនចូលក្រោយហើយប៉ុន្តែគាត់ថាចូលភ្លាមហ្នឹងខ្ញុំទៅរៀននៅឯសាលាគេហ្នឹងខ្ញុំដឹងថាมันអាចបាត់ហើយ you know មួយយើងបញ្ញវន្តអត់ពុកអលួយអត់អីផងបញ្ញវន្តយើងពីដើមខែបញ្ញវន្តច្បាស់លាស់ហ្មងមិនបញ្ញវន្តនិយាយទៅមកទេ you know ដល់អញ្ចឹងយើងអត់ចូលគេមិនកើតផងព្រោះធម្មតាគេដាក់កន្លែងយើងគឺកន្លែងខ្លាញ់ហើយយើងអត់មានបានស្អីបន្លែងឲ្យឡើងឲ្យគេ you know យើងទៅមិនរួចគេយកយើងទៅខ្វាយដូចគ្នាហ្នឹងហើយតែយើងអត់ចេះរបៀបហ្នឹងចឹងបានថា yeah that's my point takeaways ចង្ហាក់
បាទ
you know Yeah.
Thank you, Lupu. Thank you, everyone,
Yeah.
for tonight reading. So, Lupu, do you have any word?
Yes, I
to
just,
say before we end the program?
I just would like to say, all my viewers out there, please get your book. No history, no future. But once you know your history, there's know your future, and you're gonna start knowing your identity. So through this book, this is how you know your identity. Our people is very compassionate, very humanistic. So grab this book, know the journey of Mr. Patrick Gow, Khmer Rise, and the proceed, once again, go help those women that need education, and that's what his proceed go towards. So I encourage those that want to get this book and help support our cause. So once again, thank you for watching.
អរគុណច្រើន
Okay, thank
Good
you.
night.
Stay safe. សុខសប្បាយ
Thank you.
អ្នកនរគ្នា ជម្រាបលា
Thank you.
ជួបគ្នានៅសប្តាហ៍ក្រោយ Bye.